measured against the weight of your skills, right? If one of these players had been an NHL All-Star, a no doubt, MVP candidate, it would be a lot different than who these guys really are. Many of whom are kind of marginal guys, and that is a factor when it comes to teams making decisions about, are you worth it? Are you worth the hassle, let alone the contract, and do you deserve a spot on our team?
Oh, 100%. And this isn't just a coach thing, I believe, or a GM thing. This is go higher up, your president to your owner. I mean, they all are involved in this conversation, because this is bigger than, a guy blew his knee out last year. This is way bigger than that. And then the players themselves, they have to kind of figure out what their future looks like, and how, if and when they do get signed, what do they do to, that first introductory press conference isn't going to be an easy one. And so I think that there's a lot to sort out here.
Yeah.
But we have to keep in mind, these guys haven't played in quite a while, some of them. And that does matter. I remember the year that we lost the lockout in World 405. I missed a half year, then I went and dominated in the Hungarian Hockey League. And
did you see Joe from the bridge over there?
I think I actually played against Joe from the bridge. Actually, I think he made one pass in warm up, which was really good. But I just wanted to play. I didn't care the level. I just wanted to play to kind of keep even not so much the skills, just that routine of playing and what it's like competing and all that. And when you miss time, it just gets harder as you go back. Now, can you get it back? Yeah, sure you can, but there's a whole other layer on top of this. This isn't just they haven't played for 18 months, like Milan Lucic. Lucic getting the tryout with St. Louis. He attended some off-ice situations that he wanted to change his lifestyle, and now he's moved forward, but he hasn't played in a while either. He's a big guy. So what does that look like for him? I'm really interested to see what he can do, whether that turns into a contract with St. Louis or another team.
I think it boils down to the league at some point clarifying, because they've had other issues with other people that have. I don't want to use the wrong term, but you're looking for what would create the bridge to the road back. What do you have to do to get back? What sort of moral and social obligation do you have to meet to be deemed NHL capable after that?
Well, yeah, time's a factor, right? Like the sensitivity of this, the scope of this, the national scope of how this trial got attention for as long as it did, at the level that it did, is a factor here for sure. Let's not kid ourselves. But ultimately, it does come down to time will pass. You have to believe there will be opportunities for these guys, but again, it's going to be a team is going to have to explain itself. And I think, look, Carter Hart is the guy that everybody talks about, because getting a goaltender, of his potential, and clearly, to your point, Struddy, he hasn't played since 2024, but he's obviously a guy who's been highly thought of at different times during his career, and it's obviously a very attractive prospect for a team to outside of the story attached here and all the implications that come with it. It's just the idea that you could get a guy like that for free, essentially, has to be attractive to general managers. But to your point, Struddy, it's probably one you're going to have to run by your owner and run by your various levels of your board before it happens, and then it's all going to come down to whether the commissioner and the league and the union can come to an agreement about the status of these players anytime soon.
Yeah, it's going to be it really is an interesting way to look at what could happen with these players. And is it worth it? Is all this worth it for a player that may be a second, third, fourth liner on your team?
Yeah, I think it's as simple as all corporations, have core values, and if you violate them, if your behavior violates them, where does that leave you?
Yeah,
I think it's as simple as that.
It's a great way to put it.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to baseball. So the Jays are idle tonight in Miami. Bieber will debut as the Jays starting pitcher tomorrow night. Tonight you can watch baseball on TSN. We've got the Yankees and Red Sox, and that's on TSN 4. Later tonight, Keegan Matheson, MLB.com baseball insider, is with us now. Keegan, welcome. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing well, Jim. How we doing?
Good. So, I'm going to tip my pitch, fastball inside. You were seated here last week with us, and I don't remember anybody ever talking about Eric Lauer going to the bullpen, but there he is. Is that the move you would make?
We must have lost the audio, Jim, of me predicting that accurately. Must have been buried
okay.
somewhere in the TSN archive.
There you go. Okay.
But let me tell you, this is surprising how they're structuring it. But I do see the sense in it now that I've heard John Schneider talk through it, now that I've heard Eric Lauer talk through it, in that it's going to probably look different every single week. And the best way to look at it now, guys, is that there's going to be Shane Bieber, and I would argue probably Max Scherzer, who you prioritize. You're going to keep Shane Bieber on his start day. He comes first. He's coming back from Tommy John, and he's really good. He's going to get first dibs on when his next start day is. Next week, Eric Lauer might not line up on that day. It might be Chris Bassett. Maybe Chris Bassett is the guy available out of the bullpen for 1 week. Maybe after that, it's Jose Barrios for one trip through. And in a perfect world, I think on Friday against the Marlins, they're up 100-0 in the fifth inning, and you can make Eric Lauer pitch the rest of the game. Make it work that way, keep it being a start. But this is really going to look a little different every week, at least for the first few weeks until somebody really stumbles. And I can see the sense in it. It's a little complicated. It's going to take some puzzles being put together, I think, by John Schneider and Pete Walker. But it's an interesting approach, creative.
So, Keegan, what's your level of concern? The fact that they come out of Pittsburgh having dropped 2 of 3 against the last-place team. That's the 4th series loss to a last-place team this season. They dropped 2 of 3 to the A's in July, 3 of 4 to the Orioles in July, 2 of 3 to the White Sox in July. I mean, they've been punching up to the good teams and playing really well against their fellow contenders, and yet they've dropped some games that maybe they shouldn't against these bottom feeders. Does that bother you, or how do you explain it?
It does for right now. You're right when you say they've been punching up the good teams too, and that's good because nobody sucks in October. You're going to be playing good teams, and they've been playing good ball against them. But you need to get there. You need to take these gimmies along the way. They did that in Colorado. The Rockies are really bad, and they made them look really bad. But since then and around that series, guys, it's been pretty average baseball for the Blue Jays lately. And that's not who they are as a team. They are a better team than average. But we're seeing not a slump, not a cold streak by any means, but just failure to launch lately, because this stretch, and it's going to continue against the Marlins, continue back home against the Twins, who are another team that has sold off all of its pieces. They're not going for the playoffs this year at all. You need to win these games. You need to win 5 of these next 6, because one bad series can really flip this back into a division race. I think the Blue Jays holding the AL East lead for as long as they have now, these past several weeks, you get comfortable. You know, this is the way it's going to be. And even when the Blue Jays have lost 2 in a row,